Hey, what's up, guys? So, we are going to fly from Niigata to Osaka today with the Super-80, and I have the load sheet and other things already set up, so we'll quickly get started. I'll request for the ground power. Open, deploy, open. Fuel start, cargo start, and passenger start. Okay, turn on the batteries and the ground power.
Autopilot.
Then the ground service electric power is on, maintenance interphone is on, IR is set to nav, and the panel lights are on. Don't need the floodlights. Set the yaw and damper to on. Um, Emergency lights to arm. Seat belts and no smoking to auto. Galley power to on. Anti-fog is on. Okay, and then we'll turn on the displays and the FMC. So the reference airport will be RJSN, and the destination will be Osaka, which is RJOO. So today's flight number is Japan Airlines 2244. So we'll use runway. Let me quickly check the flight plan. We'll use runway 28 for departure. Runway 28, and the star will be Mok Bar 2 departure. Mok Bar 2, Terad. Terad, and we'll take Airway Yankee 45, which leads to KMC. KMC. And then the next airway will be Yankee 384. 384 Rocco. ROKKO. And based on the weather, we'll take ILS 3 to left with Ecoman arrival. We'll go back to the route. Let's check the legs page once. Okay, we'll make sure there is no break in between. Cool, looks good. So we will activate that, execute. IRS not aligned. Okay. So we'll wait for the IRS to align. Meanwhile, we'll do the other works. So we can use this as a TCAS display. And the zero fuel weight for today will be 50390 kilograms. Click on zero fuel. 5, okay. 50390, which is 50400. Okay, that's the closest round value. So we'll let the fuel load, and we'll wait for the IRS to align, and we'll let this go. Turn on the panel lights, floodlights are off, and we'll set this to map with 20-degree range. So we'll turn on the AVI tab. We can check the current airport. That should be RJSN airport. So we are here and we are going to take runway 28 based on the weather. Oops. Let me check the weather status. RJSN is 8 knots from 320 degrees, temperature is 15, and the QNH is 1021. Okay, so we'll set the QNH 1021. Okay, we have the IRS, so we'll execute performance initialization. R0 fuel was 50.4 and our planned fuel is 9,000 kilograms. So that is 9 slash normal, and the reserves fuel for today should be 1.3 tons. Cost index of 50. Our flight level will be 320 because this is a short flight. So the weather condition at 320 is 279.76. Okay, we got quite a few, quite like a lot of winds from the west. 279.76. And the outside air temperature is -48. Execute, takeoff. The outside air temperature right now is 15 degrees. So we'll put that in. So the speeds will be calculated once we set the flaps. So that's how this airplane is designed. So we have to set center of gravity percentage to. Okay, that keeps changing because the fuel and passengers are still getting loaded. So we'll wait for that to complete and then we'll come back here. And we will set the MCP. So we need to be at flight level 320. Have that set and select nav. Okay. Even before we do that, we'll click on, okay, flight directors on. We'll do a nav track and altitude is selected as flight level 320. Initially, what we'll do is we'll select a vertical speed of 1,500 feet. That should be okay. And we will set the speed manually. So we'll wait for the flaps to be configured and then we will come back here for the speed calculation. So we'll be on takeoff flex temperature, which is 2.0 EPR limit, and rest of the things are looking good. So what we can do is the fuel is loaded, passengers are loaded, the cargo is still loading, so we'll expedite that. That is done. So we are good to start the APU. So to start the APU, we have to turn on the start pump and the APU switch is right here and that'll start the APU. So you have to wait for the APU to come online and then we'll proceed with the remaining work. So what is our center of gravity? That is 11. Um, so we'll set the center of gravity to 11 and then we'll do a flap 15 takeoff today. So our trim value will be somewhere around 7 or 7.25 or something. So here I'll set this to flap 5 because so the variable flaps are marked here in blue, where the initial variable flap is 5, and then 11, 15 are standard, 20 and 24 are again variable. So for the variable flaps, we have to use this tile and then set the flap accordingly. Okay, let's have a quick external check. So, so in this aircraft, the aircraft can be loaded here at the front and here at the back as well. So I think we have the APU online now. So we'll turn on the APU generators and ground service to APU. And what else do we need to do? Turn off the start pump. We don't need that anymore. We'll turn on the fuel pumps. Do we have centrifugal? Yes. So we'll turn that on as well. And we'll set the air to on, not to air conditioning. For the start, we have to set it to on. So that's where the APU bleed goes into the engines. Set this to fan, radio rack, and rest of the things are okay for now. So I'll check the APU, external power, okay. Okay, we'll request for pushback. So since we are taking runway 28 for departure, we have to face east. Oh, sorry, we have to face west. Okay, I think I'm confused right now. Okay, I'll put it this way. We'll turn left.
All right, Captain, got the directions. Let me know through the menu when you're ready.
We are ready, so
Great
we
news,
can
Captain, your
start.
tow's coming.
We'll dismiss the ground power, and then we need the hydraulics in order to close the door. So we'll turn this on. This is the auto brake. We'll put that to RTO, or the takeoff configuration, and we'll arm that. Put this to standby. And then we put the hydraulic pumps to low, transfer pumps on, auxiliary pumps on, so we can see the hydraulic pressure increasing. So this is normal and this is the expected value. So we'll wait for the tow truck to do the work.
All right, looks like the doors and hatches are closed and we're ready to connect.
The position lights are on. Okay, they cannot push until we close all of these. And I literally forgot that the doors are open, so we'll close everything.
Welcome aboard, Captain. Tow's connected, bypass pins inserted. Go ahead and kill the parking brake when you're ready to go.
Okay, brake released.
Here comes the pushback. Light them up.
Beacon lights on, and we will use system A to start today. We'll put that to system A and starter engine number 2. So we'll see the N2 rising. Once this reaches or crosses 18, we'll put the fuel cutoff switches to on. So there we are. So that's an indication of engine 2 generator is on. So we'll start engine 1 now. Starter switch for engine 1 is on. Again, we have to wait for the N2 to rise. And then when it reaches around 18 or 20, we'll put the fuel cutoff switches to on. 18, 19, 20. Gen 1 is active and on. So since we have the engines at a stable state, we'll go ahead and turn off the start switches and start valves. System is set to off. So before we do the takeoff rule, we'll again set this back to either of the systems so that the engines will be continuously running. And we'll put the pitot heat on the captain side to on. And then we'll put the air conditioning system to auto. And I think we are good to turn off the APU. So we'll check if we have sufficient volts in Gen 1 and Gen 2. That's looking good. So we can let the APU go. APU off. And APU air is also off.
Just about done here. Go ahead and set your parking brake.
Brake set.
And we're disconnecting the tow. Give me just a moment.
Thank you. So meanwhile, we'll set the flaps to 15, which is what we want for takeoff today. So that is flaps 15. And we'll do the aircraft elevator trim for the takeoff. Okay, you can disconnect. So that's the trim sound in MD-80.
Stabilizer motion.
Yep, I'm aware.
And we're disconnected. Signal and pin on the right. Take it easy and have a safe flight.
Thank you. So we have the trim set and flaps set. So we can go ahead and select the takeoff speed. That's going to be 133, 137, and 144. Execute. So we'll set 144 here. So actually, I just wanted to try to see if this VNAV function works even before we do the takeoff roll. No, okay, that's fine. Oh, okay, all good. So, seatbelt signs are on, brakes released, and we are good to taxi. So taxi lights are on, and I completely forgot about that. Crossing secondary runway. Since we are close, we can do the before takeoff checklist. Set these to on and transponder to TA/RA. Overhead is clean. So left is clear, right is clear. Japan Air 2244, line up and take off runway 28. Take off. Airspeed alive, 80 knots. V1, rotate. Positive rate, gear up. Set the climb thrust. Autopilot is on. Quickly check for any altitude restrictions. That's none. That is good. Flaps 11. Flaps 5. Flaps 0 and up. So transition altitude is 14,000 feet. So once we cross 14,000, we'll set the altimeter to standard pressure. So we are right now here crossing SN 800, followed by we have Mokba and then to Terad. We don't need the nose lights anymore. I'll put that to off. And the weather is looking decent. So I will go ahead and turn off the fasten seatbelt sign. Center fuel pressure is low. The reason being we only have approximately 150 kilograms of fuel. So oh, I'm sorry, my bad. So we have around approximately 100 kilograms of fuel, so we can let the center fuel pump switches to go. Crossing 10,000, landing gears to off and retract. So we'll level off automatically to increase some speed, and then we'll start to climb. So we have 76 nautical miles to reach the top of cruise, and we have chosen flight level 320 based on the flight plan issued by Simbrief. Maybe that was calculated based on the fuel efficiency. No, 320 should be fine, so we'll leave it 320 instead of 340. 13,000 feet, and once we cross 14,000, we'll set the standard pressure in the altimeter. Okay, it's 290,902. So we can see the top of cruise here, and we'll try to increase the range and see the top of descent is somewhere in 160 nautical miles from now. So we'll put that back to 80, and our top of cruise should be in 66 nautical miles. Okay. So when during the takeoff roll, I did arm the speed breakers, and it looks like after the takeoff, it gets disarmed automatically. That's good to know. That is something I learned right now. Whereas in Airbus aircraft, we have to manually disarm after takeoff, and we don't need to arm or disarm for Boeing aircrafts. Okay, crossing flight level 200. So it looks like most our flight will be over the sea instead of the land. Like we'll just follow the coast, and then we'll at one point we'll enter the a land, and then we'll do our approach into the airport. So I think once we are in the descent phase is when we will fly over the land. Okay, we have a very light turbulence, so we'll put the seatbelt signs to on. So the wheel thing we see here is for the pressurization. So in modern aircrafts, if we see something like this in near the throttle quadrant, then that'll mostly be for the elevated trim. Whereas in this aircraft, the elevated trim is right here on the left. So you see this handle, which is right next to this green arrow. This is the elevated trim handle for manual trimming, and this is for the cabin altitude or the cabin pressure. So we can see the aircraft is trying to counteract for the turbulence that we are experiencing right now. So we'll mostly be at a Mach speed of 0.76, which seems to be the an average cruise speed for this plane, whereas it can go up to Mach 0.78, but that is the maximum. So we'll use Mach 0.76 at flight level 320. And the cost index I have used today is 50. So that is quite normal for the MD-80 aircraft. So the only reason I don't have or make the yoke visible is because it completely blocks the navigation display. So I'll just hide it temporarily. And I think we are quite okay, or the turbulence has settled. It looks so. So we'll go ahead and turn off the fasten seatbelt signs. So the route and the airline that we are flying right now is a real world route and real world airline, a scheduled flight from Japan Airlines, whereas the real route is flown by the Embraer 170, I think. Whereas I don't have the aircraft and explain, so I just chose to fly the MD-80. And MD-80 was with Japan Airlines until early 80s, after which it got replaced by modern jets. But I mean, I'm more interested in legacy aircraft, so MD-80 or MD-11 and the Boeing 747 Classic. All of these are my favorite collection and explain, so I'll try to make videos with all of these going forward. Or actually, you can see these kind of aircraft videos in my channel more than the modern airliners like the Boeing 737 or the Airbus A320. Okay, we are at flight level 295, still have 2,500 feet to go. Autopilot is looking good, FMC is looking good. Okay, I think the turbulence is starting again. We'll just leave it as on. Okay, we are not in this range, so we can get this closed. And we have to get the destination charts. So we'll be using or taking 3 to left for today's approach, as that is being the lengthiest runway. Maybe this is, I don't know if this is still in use in real world, but I can see that the planes are taking off and landing using 14 right and 32 left. So we'll use 32 left based on the wind status on in Osaka. And let's quickly check the arrival, which is Ikoma. Ikoma. Morocco, Ikoma, and so we'll take all the way from Roko, followed by Kameo, and then we'll reach Ota B, and from there we'll take Okoma, which will directly lead us to the 3 to left runway here at the airport. So we'll take the ILS approach today. ILS runway 3 to left. So from Ikoma, we'll straight into 3 to left. And we should be at 3,500 before we start the glide slope. Okay, we have reached the cruise altitude, so we will go ahead and set the EPR limit to cruise. Should be more than sufficient. Change this to Mach speed instead of indicated airspeed. Which is somewhere close to 7.6 or 7.5, which is okay for this aircraft. So we have the top of descent in 100 nautical miles, which is by 3:11 Zulu, and the time right now is 2:56. So we still have approximately 15 minutes to start our descent. We'll leave the fasten seatbelt signs on. I don't know the status of the turbulence, so we'll just leave that on for rest of the flight. And this is a short flight, so shouldn't be a problem. Oh. 20 minutes into the flight, everything is looking good. And the weather in Japan is also great today. To see where we are currently flying over right now, we'll go to the maps and let it load. 8 should be fine, I think. Okay, I don't understand any of these. Thought it'll be in English, but that's fine. So I think Osaka is somewhere here, maybe. Okay, it's somewhere over here. In this region. So uh, we still have all the way, have to travel all the way down and then fly over the land to make make the arrival as per our star for today. Okay, we can see the top of descent somewhere around 74 or 75 nautical miles. Okay, it's much closer than what I expected. It's at 66 nautical miles. So let's check the descent altitude. At Ecoma, it should be 3,500. So we can actually set to 3,000 because the developers are still working on um, to enable the option where we can set it in hundreds. So right now we can set it in thousands, and when it goes below 1,000 feet, we have the option to set it in hundreds. For if I try to scroll like this, no, we'll wait for the fix or the next update where we'll have this option to scroll in hundreds. So for now, I'll set it to 3,000 feet, and I hope we don't have any altitude restrictions to be at 3,000 feet. I just hope. Airport. Okay. So at Roko, we have to be above 7,000 feet. Same for Cameo. And at Ecoma, we should be above 3,500. That's where we intercept with the localizer and glide slope. But we'll be at 3,000 feet at this waypoint. Oops, I just remembered that we have to select, and we can see 3,000 here. So once we cross TOD, the aircraft will start to descend and then um, go all the way down to 3,000 feet. So we'll use flaps 28 today instead of flaps 40. We don't want more drag. So our approach or VREF will be 133. So let's check the weather and do the wind correction. So the weather at Osaka today is 23 degrees, 11 knots from 3:30, QNH 1019. Visibility is um, 10 plus statute miles, so that is good. Since we have 11 knots from 3:30, I think we can set a wind correction of 10 knots. Should be more than okay. So for flaps 28, our reference speed will be 144. Okay, the aircraft decided to start its descent way before the DOD point. So let it start its descent. We'll just go with the flow. So we can actually use this as a terrain radar also, and it can be used as a weather radar, terrain radar, and TCAS. It's a multifunctional display, so that is a good thing to know. So TCAS and weather radar can be used simultaneously, whereas if we want a terrain radar, then it cannot be. It's a standalone option. It cannot be used or used as a combination with the other options. There is an airport we just crossed. I don't know what that is. So we can check if there is a VOR. Yes, we do, which is Yankee Oscar Echo, and then we have one at the end of the runway, which is ITE. ITE is the actual VOR for Osaka, and that is 114.75. So let's put that in the VHF2. 114.75. We are approximately 86 nautical miles from the VOR. I'm just wondering what is 102.5? That is 110.2. Should be 114.6. Okay, yeah, we can see a 10 nautical miles difference for the first and second VOR, which is kind of correct. So the ILS frequency and course is 110.10, 322. So we'll set 322 over here and on the other side. So once we are close or below 10,000 feet, we'll switch to the ILS frequency. Check the transition altitude or transition level. Airport elevation is at 39 feet and the transition level is 140. Okay. So 39 feet landing altitude. It's in hundreds, so 20, 30, 40, 39 or 40 should be fine. And the equivalent of the QNH value is 30.09. Okay, 30103009 should be here. Okay, landing elevation is set and landing pressure is also set. So according to the current VNAV path, we will be at 3000 feet right here at Roko, whereas we have to be above 7000 feet until Cameo. So we'll try to set that as 7000. So we'll level off at 7000 until Cameo, and then we'll proceed our descent into the arrival and take it to 3000 feet. Sorry guys, I'm a little sleepy. It's already 11 o'clock in my place. I just noticed that I was on a hardware mute. I don't remember when did I put that in the mute. I hope my voice was audible throughout the video. And quick check. I don't know if there is a problem with my chat options because I turned on something and it says it's allowed to certain people only. So if you are watching the stream right now, just try to leave a hi and I can quickly check if my chat is working or not. Thanks. Okay, crossing flight level 153, and when we are at 14,000 feet, that's when we put in the actual pressure around the airport area or for the airport. Okay, we will set that to 1019. We will use medium auto brakes today. Minimum should be sufficient, but just to be on the safer side, we'll use medium. Okay, we are doing okay with the speed. We are almost there at 250 and about to reach 10,000 feet, so we are in control. Still 144. 110.10. Okay. LOC failed because we are way out of range. We still have a lot of distance to cover. Landing lights on. Crossing 10,000. So we'll quickly check the minimums for our approach. 250. Okay. 250 set and checked. So we will do a weather check once we are below 5,000 feet. That'll be the final weather check before we make in the approach. The aircraft is slowly leveling off at 7,000, I guess. still have 1500 to go, but I can see the vertical speed has reduced to 700 feet per minute. $143 will be our VREF. Okay. Set the EPR limit to go around. Let's quickly check for any speed restrictions during the arrival. I don't see any speed restrictions, it's just the altitude restrictions we have. So we can take control of the speed and try to do a clean approach. Okay, 1000 to go. So after we cross Kameo, we will start our further descent to 3000 feet. So from here, I don't think it will be efficient to go with the VNAV. So we'll select speed and we'll use the vertical speed option to take our further descent. Set that to 20 nautical mile radius. I guess I can see the airport, but I don't know if that is correct or not. Think there should be the... Okay. Yeah, I can see two runways. One is the shorter one, and the other one is the longer runway, that is 32 left, which we are going to take today. And what we'll try to do is, once we make the touchdown, we'll try to vacate via Whiskey 6 or Whiskey 8. I think Whiskey 6 will be difficult, maybe not. It'll be either of these two. Okay, we are crossing Kameo. We can further start our descent to 3000 feet. So I'll put that here, 3000, and we'll use vertical speed. think 500 feet per minute should be fine. As we will further reduce our speed, the vertical speed should be sufficient, and then we can increase if required. Flaps 28, 143, a final weather check. 330 degrees, 11 knots, 23 degrees is the outside air temperature, and QNH 1019. Okay, no change in the runway or the approach. So we'll reduce the speed to 200 knots. So the airport is at 4 o'clock. So let's extend. Flaps 5. So we can further reduce our speed to 180 knots. So at Ikoma and Mido, we should be at 3,500, which we can make it without any problem. Can actually increase the vertical speed a little bit. Flaps 11. Since we have crossed the um, variable flap of 5, we can now set that to 20. So variable flap is set to 20, so when we put it to 15 and then put the next flap, it'll go to 20. Okay. We'll further reduce our speed to 165. Okay, we are taking our right base for the runway. Flaps 15. Flaps 20. I think we can set it to 24 already. 24. We are making our final turn into the airport, and that is for the runway 32 left. Osaka traffic, Japan Air 2244 on final for ILS 32 left. VOR localizer captured. Wow, I don't know what's happening. So I'll choose the ILS option. Okay, gear down. Flaps 28. Gear down 3 greens so we can arm the auto brakes. Speed brakes armed. so sleepy. Okay, we are approximately 1,000 feet above the ground.
1,000.
We'll try to take control of the throttle.
Autopilot.
500 feet and it's going crazy. Okay.
300. Minimums.
Landing.
200.
Whoa.
200.
I don't know if I'll even make it to the runway.
100. 50.
Going around. What is the missed approach? Missed approach altitude will go back to 3,000. Sheesh. Okay, it didn't go as planned, so we'll try to take another attempt and try to go back to the runway. Okay. Must be flying parallel to the airport, I think. 10. So our descent has to start approximately 10.5 nautical miles out. So we are still at 7.8. We'll approximately go all the way on the other direction to 12 nautical miles, and then we'll take a left turn to the base, and then we'll take another left to line up with the runway. Hmm. Okay, we'll reduce and maintain 180 knots. Have to set the flaps again to 5. Slats extended and flaps set to 5. Okay, we are 13.5, so we'll take left. Flaps 11. Try to be at our minimum speed, so let's set flaps 15. Then to flaps 20. So we'll turn left. Then we'll do a VOR lock or the VOR localizer capture. Flaps 20. Flaps 24. Okay, we have established the localizer. I hope we can make it to the runway this time. hold is on. Gear down. Flaps 28. Auto brakes is armed. Speed brakes are armed. And we are hitting the glide slope. So we'll reduce to 147 knots just to be on the safer side. We still have 4,500 kilograms of fuel, so it should be more than sufficient for another attempt, just in case if we cannot make it this time. $1,500. So we're getting the same pattern of winds. Try to make it this time somehow. Okay, auto throttle is off.
Autopilot.
Okay.
50, 40, 30,
braking. We couldn't exit in Whiskey 6, I think. We are going for Whiskey 8. I thought I'll have to go around this time as well, but somehow brought the aircraft into control. That's a big relief for me. Off, medium, strobe is off. Crossing 1-4 left and 3-2 right. Transponder is set to standby. Auto brakes off. I don't know if how this is supposed to be used, or we'll try to take a different spot. I entered the wrong one. Just going straight into this one. Taxi lights are off, and let's marshal ourselves. Parking brakes set, and jetway attachment. This is one cool feature in Explain 12. Okay. GPU requested. So GPU is on. Just have to cut the field switches. Off. Fuel pumps are off. Beacon light is off. Fasten seatbelt sign is off. What else do we have? Forward door open. Wow. Finally made it to Osaka in one piece. Okay, cool. So, thank you all for watching, and try to catch you soon with the next video. You all have a good night or evening or morning, wherever you're from. Peace.